Hi everyone, it's Derek from the I Ready podcast here, and this is my reaction to the 3-0 loss against Celtic tonight. Abysmal. There's really no other way to describe that performance tonight. Absolutely abysmal. That said, I'm going to be angry, I'm going to be disappointed, but I'm going to try and keep a level head because some of the takes I've seen on Twitter tonight so far are nothing short of embarrassing, and I get there's a lot of anger and frustration out there, but really if you can't keep a level head and you can't keep some of your outlandish comments to yourself, it's maybe better not tweeting, to be honest. That said though, it was just a shocking performance all round. Everybody knew how Celtic would play. They would run about like blue arse flies for about 60 minutes and then they would get puffed out. And we tried to defend that and we were found out in defence tonight, as we have been several times this season so far. Now, I don't actually mind us trying to sit back and absorb it, but you have to do the basics like marking, like actually defending, like not giving them space. And that's what we done tonight, is we gave them all of that. We gave them space, we never marked, we couldn't do anything, we couldn't defend tonight, and that was the big thing that completely outdone us. And you seen in the second half as well, it was an even start to the game in the second half, and then round about 60 minutes Celtic got absolutely puffed out and it was all us, but we couldn't do anything with the ball, which was just inexplicable, which we'll get into in the second half. But there was one change from the Ross County game. It was Roof in for Itten. Maybe this game will make some fans appreciate the fact that this is the team playing bad and not the individual, like they were absolutely going mental at Itten the other day. It's not just his fault that we're not scoring goals. But we lined up McGregor, Tavernier, Bassey, Goldson, Barisic, Kamara, Arfield, Aribo, Kent, Ahmad and Roof. On the subs bench we had McLaughlin, Balogun, Lundstrom, Jack, Davis, Sands, Lowry, Itten and Sakala. So certainly a decent team we put out, more than capable of handling them. We just didn't do that. First half itself, it was absolutely shambolic. There's no really any other way to describe that. It started bad and really just got worse. The passing had been woeful, bar a few wee spells of close quick passing, but Celtic have played very well, and I hate to see it, and we can't take that away from them though. Very quick, incise passing, getting forward, pressing all the time, and having at least two players on us every time we broke forward, and we couldn't get really started. And any time we did get a cross in or managed to get a shot, it was off target or the cross was completely wayward. We never linked up at all tonight. However, we just played right into their game by not doing the basics of the defending. As I said, we created acres of space with them and didn't mark up, and that was the downfall. Now, I had the first 5 minutes of the game I never really seen because my TV was breaking up. However, when I did finally tune back in, a minute later, Celtic scored on the 5th minute. It was a corner in from the right. It was a clash between Aribo and Bassey. Bassey stayed down. At the same time, the ball was cleared, but only to the edge of the box on the left for Hatate to shoot it into the net past the dive of McGregor. Wasn't a spectacular shot at all. It was your bread and butter shot, well placed. McGregor could really do nothing, and it went into the back of the net. Poor defending all round. Discussions went on with the linesman and the ref, I'm guessing regarding our player that was down. It wasn't clear it was a head knock or not. Surely the ref has to stop the play there, but at the same time our defence has to play to the whistle, so they need to be defending first, regardless of if we've got a player down. I think they were maybe too busy trying to argue that we've got a player down rather than actually just clear the ball. We started to regain a bit of possession after that, but it was very short-lived. 15th minute, it was another for fuck's sake Tav moment because the ball was played down the left side. Tavernier gets it, but tries to pass it inwards for some reason. It was shockingly short, allows Jota to get the ball. A quick shot on the left of the box forced McGregor to make a great save. Rebounded out, another shot from one of their other attackers, another good save, and eventually cleared for the corner. All down to a shit inwards pass as well. I don't understand what Tavernier was playing at there. Celtic had another chance as well in the 18th minute. It was a quick incisive move down the right by them, cutting through our defence, got the ball inside the box into the middle for their attacker to have a shot, and another great save by McGregor out for the corner. So there's 3 saves in quick succession there he's had to make. 34th minute, Celtic had a claim for a penalty where Bassey was claimed to have bundled over their attacker. Bassey did have his hand on him, but there was no chance that was enough to make him fall the way he did, so correct decision there before any conspiracy theorists start. Our best chance came in the 41st minute, where it was a lovely passage of play, quick incisive passing all round the box, ended a fantastic through ball for Arfield in space. Hart was alert and he dives at the feet of Arfield and just gets the ball before him. Arfield did go down, but it was more of a jumping over the keeper, so there was certainly no claim for penalty there, but you never know these days with some referees. And then after that, it all went to hell because Celtic basically went right up the park on the 42nd minute and made it 2-0. They went right up the park, as I said, down the left, cut inside with crisp passing, so much space for them, and Hatate gets the ball on the edge of the box and hits a shot into the bottom right corner past McGregor. Again, not a spectacular shot, but it was enough to get it past McGregor. Maybe McGregor could have done a wee bit better, but the defence has to do their job first and stop it at source, really. So much space for them, as I said. And then, if a hard task was to get impossible, it certainly did, because 2 minutes later on the 44th minute, Celtic made it 3-0. It was a throw-in from the right to their player, making a run, nobody picking him up whatsoever. It was a cross into the box that found Abada making a run, again, in acres of space, nobody picking him up, nobody tracking him, and it was a simple knock into the net. Just shambolic defending. So really, given how we all know how Goldson feels about going into the break 3-0 down, we could have hoped for absolutely nothing, and I was really only hoping not to let Celtic score again, maybe pull a goal or two back and make a wee bit more respectable. We'd done one of these things anyway, at least Celtic never scored again, but that's really no comfort at all. It was a better second half, but we still couldn't do anything with the possession. Certainly there was a triple sub right at half time. Barisic, Kamara and Ahmad off, Jack, Balogun and Sakala on. One thing's for certain, Jack was the man of the match for us. If he's fit, he plays. He controlled that midfield. Again, no, it's maybe slightly skewed out the amount of possession we got, because we all know what Celtic do after about 60 minutes is they completely get puffed out and they drop off. It was really an even game for the first 15 minutes of that second half, then Celtic completely dropped off, and then it was really all us having possession. Celtic had a couple of breaks throughout that period, but it was largely us. But we couldn't do anything with the ball, and we couldn't put Hart under pressure at all. 54th minute was a quick break down the right. Tavernier crosses in on the deck, deflected off the defender into the path of Arfield, who shoots over the bar. The best chance of the half for us was in the 79th minute when Jack drives the ball forward, has a shot from distance, which cannons off the bar, back into play and cleared. Really unlucky that there, and some absolute weapon on Twitter says that Jack was atrocious, he should never play. He was by far the best player for us tonight, and that says something, the fact that he only played one half. And then this is the thing that really frustrates me, is on the 86th minute, there was a cross-come shot from Celtic which ended up going goal-bound, was going to dip into the back of the net, but McGregor had to do well and tip it over the bar. So even when they get a half chance out of absolutely nothing, when they're on the back foot most of the second half, they still manage to put our keeper under pressure. Other teams do that as well, and it's something we struggle to do against everyone, not just Celtic. We can have all the pressure in the world, but we never put their keeper under enough pressure, because we're trying to do either the Hollywood pass, we're trying to find the right angle, we're not just taking a shot. And again, that was something that was woeful tonight. When we did get the chance to shoot, we blasted it over the bar. I think Hart maybe had one save to make all night. So that's really how the game ended out. It's so frustrating, so anger-inducing. As I said, I understand why people are angry, because that is not the performance we know these players are capable of. There's got to be an issue with the tactics as well. As I said, I can understand it. We had to try to absorb what we knew Celtic were going to come out the traps flying as they did. But you need to absorb it. You can't just be so passive in defence like that and allow them to waltz through you. It's not the greatest. It's been a massive 7-point swing over since the break. Sorry, but it is the curse of the winter break once again. That's 4 games in the league we've had since the break, 2 draws, 1 game where we really struggled and we won 1-0, and obviously tonight it's not good enough. It really needs to stop this. There are some players in that team tonight that need to have a good hard look at themselves, and funnily enough, it's the same players that have been getting criticised. Last season, take that, park it, that was their absolute anomaly. The players were outstanding last year, but they've all reverted back. The players that were there for 2 or 3 seasons, they've all reverted back to doing the same lazy play, what they've been doing. And it's the same suspects every single time. I'm not going to mention their names because it's well documented. At the same time, there are still a number of games to go in the league. There's been a 7-point swing there. We've went from 6 points ahead to 1 point behind now. It's not good enough in the slightest. There is still a lot to play for, but it's quite clear now that the momentum has swung in the other half of Glasgow, and that's something we need to arrest very quickly. A big game again coming up against Hearts at the weekend. We need to crack on. We cannot drop any more points like that. I think we've seen Celtic have got liable to drop points with the way they play sometimes, especially going into the last section of the game. It's frustrating though that we ship 3 goals when Celtic play like that and the likes of Dundee United don't. That is just how frustrating it is. So we'll just need to pick ourselves up and go again at the weekend. So all I can say is thanks for listening and goodbye.